You got your Bible this morning. I want you to open with me to John chapter 5, 5th chapter of John. John chapter 5. Who was the best? John chapter 5, let's begin in verse 1. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lie, and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming down, another steppeth down before me. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Heavenly Father, I thank you for your precious word. I am thankful this morning, Father, that, Lord, in this country today, we can take this word with us wherever we go. We are free to open it, to read it, to receive it, to study it, to learn it. Father, your word is precious. It is a balm to those, Father, that are hurting and heartbroken and sick. It is life to those, Father, who reads its pages and receive what it says. It is salvation to the sinner. Father, your word is pure. Jesus said, through the word we are made clean. Father, I ask now that you would use this clay with all of its flaws to rightly divide this word, and in doing so to glorify your name, that your perfect will would be accomplished. And Father, I ask this with a grateful heart in Jesus' precious name. Amen and amen. Anybody? I think the vast majority of us in here are probably old enough. How many remember the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote? Now, Luke, you may not. You know who I'm talking about? Okay. Luke does. Okay. The Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Correct. Now, that coyote chased that Roadrunner for how long? All my life. I'm 58 years old today, and he chased him all my life. That's all I can tell you. And he still ain't caught him. Okay? Now, Wile E. Coyote provided a good living for the Acme Corporation, because that's where he ordered all his gadgets from. It always backfired on him. Okay? But Wile E. Coyote chased that Roadrunner up and down them hills, all around the mountains, everything else. Every time he got close, that Roadrunner would do what? He'd turn around and say, "Doo-doo." Shoo, when he was gone, right? How many of you in here feel like the coyote this morning? How many of you in here this morning feel like you've been the coyote all your life? You know what you want. Sometimes it's almost within arm's reach. But you just can't seem to get up with it. Just can't seem to grab it. It's that close. It's that close. But at the end of the day, when you lay yourself down in the bed at night, you lay your head on the pillow, you still feel like you're a coyote. And that road runner's still out there just a little bit in front of you. Just a little bit in front of you. How many today are that close, sitting on the edge of your miracle? And how long have you waited? How long have you waited? Sitting that close to the edge of your miracle. Right there at the edge. You can see it. You can see it from where you're sitting. But you just can't seem to quite get there. You just can't seem to quite get there. What I'm telling you this morning, church, is it's time to trouble the waters. It's time for you to trouble the waters. It's time for you to begin to stir up what's inside of you. Stir up what God has given you. Stir up what God has blessed you with. It's time. It's time. How many drag themselves to church every Sunday, sitting on the edge of salvation, deliverance, and freedom, but they just can't let go? Well, they know they're supposed to be in church. We know we're supposed to be here. We drag ourselves every Sunday to church. I know I need to be there. We hear the songs, and there's a stirring in our heart. We hear the preacher, there's a stirring in our heart. We hear the Sunday school teacher, there's a stirring in our heart. But when it comes down to the end, and I say, will you come? Just can't let go. Just can't let go. This pool at Bethesda Church, it had been there. And the Bible says that in a season, didn't happen every day, didn't maybe happen every month. In a certain season, an angel would come down into the waters in the pool of Bethesda. And the angel would go down into the water and trouble the waters, stir the waters up. And the first one to get in was healed. And the Bible says they were there, they were lame, they were halt, they were withered. They had been waiting there. This man, 38 years, had sat by that pool. 38 years. I understand that, because let me tell you something this morning, church. I sat by that pool for 28 years before I ever set foot in it. I watched others get in. And I'm talking about saving, getting saved. I'm talking about your soul this morning. I sat by that pool for 28 years. I watched others dive in. I watched things happen. I knew something was in that pool I needed, but I just wouldn't step in. I wouldn't stir the waters. I watched the waters get stirred, but I didn't want to stir the waters. I didn't want to stir the waters. This man, church, was in a bad state. 38 years. 38 years. He had dragged himself to that pool every day and watched and waited and watched and waited and watched and waited and watched and waited. Hoping, maybe. He was alone. The Bible says that he says later, there's no one here to help me in. Every time I see the water stir, there's no one there. He was alone, church. 38 years, dragging himself alone. He felt hopelessness. Anybody in here ever felt hopeless? That is one of the absolute worst and terrible emotions and feelings that anyone can have. When you get to that point that you just feel like there's nothing I can do. Hopelessness. That's where this man was. Let me ask you another question. I bet you a lot of you understand this. Anybody ever in here felt like you were next in line? My time's coming. 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 All right, Wiley. Beep. Every time you get that close, beep, it's gone. Feel like you're next in line. And my goodness, if you've ever been to McDonald's in King Street and you're next in line, you know what I'm talking about. And then when you get to the window, they tell you go park over there. You always feel like you're behind. You always feel like you're next. It's never you're the one at the window. You're the one that's next in line. You're the one that's next in line. This man had to feel that way. 38 years of watching people get into that water when the water got stirred and getting healed. Of watching people come out of that water that maybe were blind coming out and all of a sudden they see. That were deaf and they come out and all of a sudden they hear. That were lame and they come out and all of a sudden they're running around those 5 porches that were there. And he just lays there because he's hopeless. There's nobody to help him either. He's by himself. He's in a bad place. He's hurting, church. He's hurting. This man kept looking at and to that pool. That was his entire focus. When is that angel coming? When is that angel going to stir the waters? When is that angel going to step in and those waters get troubled? When? That was his entire focus. Looking at the pool, waiting for his ship to come in. How many here today are waiting for their ship to come in like we often do? We always say we're waiting on our ship to come in. How many? I bet you there's a person in here this morning that hadn't said, well, buddy, when I hit that lottery. Come on now! Bless God! You know you said it. You thought about it too, ain't you? Oh, that boat I'm going to be in. Hey! Make the love boat look like a passenger carrier. Thought about it, tell the truth. Yeah, you have.
Publisher Clearinghouse.
Whatever, same. We do, church. We keep waiting on our ship to come in. We want to hit the lotto. You know what? If it isn't the lotto, that rich uncle I've never met in Colorado, he will die. Come on! Somebody got to be rich. There's kin to be somewhere down the line that will die. Amen?
Amen.
So we wait on that. Or, you know what? We lay in our bed, we wait on medical science to come up with a cure. Kind of like the woman with the issue of blood who did everything within her power to spend every dime she had. And then one day she got a hold of it. What is going on? What are you looking to this morning, church? Jesus said, come unto me. Come unto me. All you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and you will find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Who are you looking to this morning, church? Who are you calling out to? Who are you leaning upon? Who are you trusting in? Who are we looking to this morning? Who are we looking to this morning? Praise God. This man didn't need to be faster. Did you hear me? He didn't need to be faster. He didn't need an angel. He didn't need that pool. He needed Jesus. Quit looking at everything else in your life saying, if I can get this to happen, if I can make this happen, if I can do this, if I can just do that, glory to God, call on Jesus. Amen. The author and the finisher of our faith. Jesus made the angel that went down and stirred the water. From the foundations, from the beginning of the world, Jesus put the water that was there where they dug that pool of Bethesda. Can you hear this morning? What do you need? Not what do you want? What do you need? What do you need, child? What do you need? And where are you looking for? Where are you looking for what you need this morning? Where are you looking this morning? Where are you looking? We need to begin to stir ourselves, church. The church needs to begin to stir herself. I'm talking about you and I'm talking about me. We need to begin to stir ourselves, stir the waters, stir our hearts, stir the gift that is within us. Too many in the church today don't even know what their gift is, much less how to stir it. When you get saved, the Holy Ghost enters your heart. You are anointed and blessed with a gift. Do you know what it is this morning? Do you know what your gift is this morning? Is it preaching? Is it miracles? What is your gift this morning? What is your gift? Do you know? Do you know? We need to begin to stir ourselves, church. We've allowed the waters to stand and become stagnant. Are you stagnant this morning? When's the last time you grew in Jesus? Let me tell you something. That's a never-ending process. That's a never-ending process, church. You don't get to a point with Jesus and say, well, here it is, I've arrived. I can't learn anymore. I can't grow anymore. I've gone as far as I can go in Jesus. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. Now, you might be gone as far in Jesus as you want to go. You might be grown as much in Jesus as you want to grow. And that church is where we become stagnant. That is where the church begins to fail. That is where the church becomes where nothing changes. We come in on Sunday morning, we sit in the same seat, we sing the same old songs, the preacher preaches the same old message, we get up and we go home, and nothing changes. But we're happy. church becomes stagnant and the church doesn't move and the pews all of a sudden that once were filled begin to become empty. And everybody looks around and says, well, what happened? What happened? We become stagnant, church. We become stagnant. We've let the water stand. We've left our prayer life. I don't want you to raise your hand. I want you to be honest with yourself this morning. How many in here are proud of their prayer life this morning? How many in here are proud of their prayer life this morning? We don't read the Bible. We don't study. We don't witness. But we're satisfied. We're satisfied. There's a little stirring in this church this morning, church, and I don't want it to die. That's what I'm telling you this morning. Things are beginning to happen. Let me tell you something. You'd be surprised at the number of people that have come to me this past week and said, I heard y'all had church at somebody's house. Yes, we did. Yes, we did, bless God. You want us to come to yours next? Amen. We'll come. Bless God, we'll come. I got stopped yesterday at the Bible in King Street by a couple. And I'm not going to say their name because everybody in here would know who they are. But they both came to me. And it was like one on one side, one on the other side. Tell us about church at Brother Dip's house. Tell us about church at Mr. Russell's house. We want to know what happened. How did you do that? How did it go? Man, I hadn't heard about that. I've never heard about that. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. And I sat right there and I said, let me tell you about it. Bless God. Chuck went Friday morning, spoke to the FCA at Williamsburg Academy. Over 100 young people. Church, I'll tell you, there's a little ripple in Williamsburg Baptist Church this morning. There's a little ripple. Praise God, and it's growing. It's getting a little bigger every day. 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 Don't you want to be a part of it? I do. I do. I do. Something's happening, church. Something's happening. Something's happening. God's moving. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Let me tell you something. We're getting close to running that road runner down. Bless God. That joke will make a good meal. He's aggravated me long enough. Ain't it wrong? Amen, amen. Praise God, praise God. Something's happening, church. Something's happening. Bethesda. The word Bethesda means house of mercy. That's what it means. What this poor halt man didn't realize was that mercy just walked up. House of mercy. Mercy just strolled up to where he was. This man didn't even know who Jesus was. Did you know that? He didn't have a clue. If you go down to verse 13, it says, and he that was healed wist not who it was. For Jesus had not conveyed himself to him. He didn't have a clue who Jesus was. Not a clue. Some of us in the church don't know who Jesus is either. Amen. Amen. He didn't have a clue who Jesus was. But you know what this man did know? This man knew that he was absolutely miserable. That's what this man did know. That he was miserable, that he was alone, and that he was hopeless. Anybody in here miserable this morning? There's nothing in the world worse, listen to me carefully, church, than a miserable Christian. That's an oxymoron, but it's true. I hope I said that right, Mary, and all the teachers in here. Miserable. This man was miserable, church. 38 years lying beside this pool, watching others be healed, knowing he was this close, this close, this close, but not being able to get there. Not being able to get there. Miserable. He was absolutely miserable. And he didn't call out to Jesus. Listen carefully. He didn't call out to Jesus. Our Lord gazed upon him and made this simple statement. Wilt thou be made whole? And put yourself in his shoes. All this time, he has sat by and watched all these things happen. All this time of being miserable, heartbroken, not knowing if he was going to be able to make another day. And all of a sudden, this man looks at you and says, wilt thou be made whole? Can you imagine what had to be running through his mind? And the Bible gives us a little bit of an understanding of what was going through his mind. Lord, what do you mean be made whole? Nobody here to help me down into the water when the angel comes and stirs the water. I don't know what I'm going to do. Wilt thou be made whole? What a remarkable question. I want you to consider that for a moment. If you look at this question, the first thing that would pop into your mind is you would say, well, of course I do. But did he? I don't think our Lord would have asked the question if he had already known the answer. Which he did. That's not what I'm saying, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. Jesus felt it important to ask the question instead of just healing. Wilt thou be made whole? 38 years. Listen, church. Listen. I'm almost through. And that's true. I am. 38 years. Maybe it had become old habit now. Maybe he had resigned himself to the state in which he was living. Listen. Maybe he feared what would happen now if he were healed. What about us? What about us? How deep do we want to plunge into those waters, church? How deep? How far do we want to go? How much Jesus do we want? How close do we want to get to Him? How deep do we want to go, church? How much do we want this morning? How much? How much? Are we satisfied with where we are? Maybe it's become old habit. I know where to go. I'll be at church on Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and I'll go home. I've done my duty for the week. Maybe it's become old habit. Or just maybe, we fear what would happen if we really sell out to Jesus. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're really, maybe a little bit scared that, you know what? Man, if I really dig into this book, if I really get on my knees and begin that effectual, fervent prayer, I might end up on fire for Jesus. And some of you, listen to me, some of you scared to death, and I'll just flat say it, because you know y'all, some of you scared you can start speaking in tongues. Some of you, I'm scared some of you slapped to death. Ain't nothing but a gift, just like the other gifts. And I'm not saying that to downgrade it. That's not what I mean. But it's a gift just like any other gift. I'm not telling you to seek it. There's a lot of other precious gifts that God has. But maybe this man had just come to the point where, you know what? Man, I've been here 38 years. If I get healed, I might have to get a job. I might have to go to work. I might have to share what happened to me. Maybe he becomes satisfied with the state he was in. Wilt thou be made whole? It's no different for the lost. No different at all. Wilt thou be saved? Wilt thou be saved? Pick up your bed and walk. Glory to God. Glory to God. Rise. Take up thy bed and walk. Jesus gives the command. He who had just moments before could not even turn himself over in his bed, now stands to his feet and takes his bed and walks. You can get as close to Jesus as you want to get. He will not turn you away. He will not turn you away. He will not turn you away. He won't do it, church. He won't do it. Now, I want you to notice something here. Jesus didn't touch this man. That's important. Jesus didn't touch this man. Through his word, he commanded him to get up and walk. Why? Because that man had laid there for 38 years waiting on someone to take him and put him into that pool. Jesus didn't touch him. Command. When Jesus gives a command, any command, he will give you the ability to fulfill that command. Any command in this book that he gives, he will give you the authority, the understanding, the power, and the ability to follow through with that command. Period. Period. Everybody stand. I'm going to stop right there. Mary Ann. Having trouble before. Having trouble before. Having trouble before. Are you tired of being sick? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you tired of chasing that road runner? Are you tired of it? Are you tired? 38 years. I say that like I told you, I sat on the edge for 28. May 2nd, 1991. I climbed into that pool. Never regretted it. Never regretted it. Been thankful for it every single moment since. Through the good times, the bad times, the laughter, the tears, the heartache, and the rejoicing. I have never once regretted jumping into those troubled waters. Not once. Not once. You're lost today. You were no better than this man was. I was no better than this man was until that day. I wasn't. Your soul is crippled. Your soul is lame. Your soul is halt. And soul is lost. How many years do you? How many years? How many years? Have you sat on the edge when the waters were stirred, but didn't get in? But Jesus is here right now. He's here. He's in the midst. He's here. He's here. His hand is outstretched, and He's beckoning and calling you. You know what His question is this morning?